Manchester United 1, Aston Villa 0.
Woo!
It wasn't the greatest games to watch, but it's about what happens at the end. We get another 3 points. 3 points closer to cementing us being in the top 4. And I'm just going to say it. I think that's it now. I think we're done. I think we're done. I mean, we can't stop the season. That'd be nice, that rest.
We're done it.
Until Wembley. But what do you reckon, mate? What did you make of the performance overall?
Scary, wasn't it, at times? You know, first half we seemed to be on top, but Villa had a couple of very good chances. But we got the goal. Bruno, fantastic, coming off the right-hand side as well. He was having so much of a debate whether he should actually be on the right side or not. He's actually scored a goal from the right-hand side. I'm actually more chuffed for Tyrell Malacia. We were saying how much on that live stream about how worried I was pre-game. He had probably the best game I've seen in a United shirt.
Yeah, Malacia probably was the best performance he's had as a Manchester United player. Listen, all season we've been looking and giving the accolades to the likes of Rashford for his goals, Casemiro for being such a stalwart player in centre midfield, Bruno for creating and assisting goals all season. But it was a game for defenders. Lindelof again came up brilliant at the end. Villa very, very close. He had to come to the rescue off the line. And I thought Villa might have equalised there. Malacia, like I said, he wasn't just a great left back today. He was all over the pitch, wasn't he? And it was nice. And a lot of the times this season I've been critical of him because of his decision making. He's a bit naive. But today, just like that intention of going forward, but also tracking his man back. And I just thought it was a man of the match for me. So it wasn't a great performance going forward. It was nice seeing the balls going over the top, but this is an Aston Villa team that haven't been beaten 10 games, so it was never going to be an easy game. Very similar to the Brighton match at Wembley. Brighton were going in with great form for attacking all across Europe, one of the best attacking teams, and we managed to win that game. Today we've beat a team that haven't been beaten 10 games. You know, you've got to put it in the context of the season. So for that, really stalwart Unai Emery performance. He put everyone and the whole fan base in their half for the first 45 minutes, and then they came out and attacked. You'd expect them to when they went 1-0 down. But yeah, do you see us having any problems now going forward? I think there's 5 games left, isn't there?
Yeah, I don't think there'll be an issue. I think if we bottle 4th position with a 9-point gap with a game in hand, then serious questions need to be asked about a lot of the squad, because the position we're in now, we said how big a game it was, because if Villa won, they'd go 5th. If we win, we could go as high as 3rd. Obviously, Newcastle winning a game today means we still sit in 4th with a terrible goal difference. Not helped by an extra goal, really, but the 9-point gap is massive. It's what we needed, and top 4 is pretty much guaranteed now. So I can pretty much safely say we'll get Champions League football next year, which is fantastic to see with a manager who we're so excited about as well. But like I say, you mentioned Emery then. It didn't look like the free-flowing attacking Villa they had been in the past 10 games that they've been unbeaten for. Yeah. There was times where, as you mentioned on the stream, there was 5 at the back, 5 defenders almost like centre-halves, and then 3 just screening them. They didn't really have anything apart from the little chance in the first half and Victor Lindelof clearing it off the line. Yeah. Apart from that, they had a very quiet day, I think.
Well, I think they look like, because you mentioned there that they were creeping up towards higher European spots in the league table, that they would be happy to come to Old Trafford today, sit back for as long as they could, and take a 1 point and go back to Villa Park, which I think they would have done. Is only when Fernandes scored, and there was a little bit of luck with the goal. We were talking before the game and during the watch along, our inability to sort of be more clinical in front of goals, and we got a bit fortunate with Fernandes' goal.
Yeah, and look, we've been screaming out for a bit of luck for the past few weeks now, and the questions that we were asking is whether we could actually hold out a game, because we saw how we capitulated against Spurs as quickly and as easily as we did as well. But we actually looked like a team who could hold the game out there. You know, we question sometimes Ten Hag's substitutions and why he does some of them, but I think he got them spot on today in terms of seeing the game through. You know, putting what it looked like 3 at the back with 3 centre-halves on, putting Terrell on one side and Dallo on the other, and just keeping it compact, doing to Emery what Emery did to us for the majority of the game, and he couldn't get out of it.
Yeah, so, I mean that's it. And I think it's the calibre of player that we had in the first half that sort of pushed us through. Were you worried about Marcus Rashford's performance? There's a lot of balls coming over the top from the Eriksen and Fernandes, and that looked like to be the only way to break down that Villa defence. He didn't look the usual Marcus Rashford that we're used to.
No, he didn't. But I think we know what Rashford's strengths are in terms of receiving the ball out wide, taking a player on, going at tremendous pace, either unleashing a shot or a pass there. And when he's playing as the 9 with 2 big bustling centre-halves at Villa have, the way we were playing as well, it seemed like Ten Hag communicated to hit long balls because they played such a high line and to get them over the top. And we had a lot of success with it. There was a couple offsides, but we had a lot of success with it as well. And Rashford's pace, if I can get that out, is something that should really worry Villa, especially when they play such a high line. And the fact that he was getting in behind did worry them, obviously. But then when he's having to try and control the ball, as we saw in the first half, I think when the ball came over his left shoulder, if his right foot touch was a tiny bit better, he's one-on-one with Martinez there. And I think we didn't play to Rashford's strengths as such this game because he was playing as a central 9. We know how good he is on the left-hand side. He's a left winger. He's not a 9, but he can do a job there. And he did a job today. He stretched out that Villa defence as we saw, because there was that many balls in between gaps there created by runs from Rashford or runs from Bruno or whoever. So I wouldn't necessarily be worried too much. Maybe he should have done better for that chance in the first half where he just put it past Martinez and it was eventually offside. But still, I wouldn't be worried too much. I think people are just worried more about the referee in that game. We've got a super chat. We've got a super chat from Room Tofflin saying, another shocking ref. I'm so tired of watching it. I mean, she's not alone in her assumption of the fact that there's no bleeding good referees. And I was bigging him up before the game, and I am terribly sorry. I made a mistake. That was a very silly thing of me to do. But on the original point, I don't think we should be worried too much about Rashi.
No, I think if anything, it was just that it was a game that didn't suit his skill set, like you said, and I think he did the best to his abilities with the ball coming over the top. But again, sort of echoes this belief that I think every single Manchester United fan has. And Erik Ten Hag mentioned again at this weekend that United is screaming out for a number 9, because if that's an out-and-out number 9 striker, all day he's collecting them balls off Eriksen and Bruno, and and that game would have been completely different. But as it is, we can only make do with what we've got. Harry Maguire came off the bench, a little bit nervous in the last 10 minutes.
You saw us. Us three on here was absolutely shitting ourselves, thinking, what if he receives the ball close to De Gea at all? But, I think he did a couple of passes and a couple of tackles. You can't bollocks them up, you'd think. As bad as he has been sometimes this season, you can't really bollocks them up. He didn't really do anything. He was there to do a job. It's technically classed as him getting a clean sheet. So, that might be good for his stats post the end of the season. But I don't think we'll be seeing much of him for the rest of the year.
No, and one surprise name in the lineup today was Dalot, who replaced Wan-Bissaka. I think we were all quite surprised with that. Didn't seem to put a foot wrong. No,
and we was questioning why Wan-Bissaka had been dropped, but then both the fullbacks today showed why Ten Hag started him in this game. Dalot didn't put a foot wrong. Malassi was fantastic. Shout out to the 2 centre-halves as well. I mean, I mentioned just then, I don't think we'll see Maguire a lot this year. If Luke Shaw and Lindelof play like that in the remaining games, 6 or 7 games that we've got, he's not going to get a sniff, or he'll be getting the same things that he had in that game. He'll be coming on 80, 85 minutes, try and hold out a lead or whatever, or he won't get on at all. But Shaw was fantastic at centre-half. Victor Lindelof, if he's not on the line, he hasn't got the awareness to go back onto the line when there was a couple of ricochets. It's 1-1 and we lose the game, and it's another, oh my God, how did we not bleeding get through another game? But this is only going to fill him with confidence as well when you think, 5 games left of the season or 6 games left in the Prem, FA Cup final as well. If we have to have Luke Shaw and Victor Lindelof in that FA Cup final right now when they're playing, I'm not that fussed.
No, well, you want them to have as strong a partnership as possible. You don't want any sort of errors glaring through the defence. And it has been, I think the fear when Martinez and Varane were injured was we were looking at who's going to come in and replace. I think everyone was pointing towards Harry Maguire. And then obviously what happened in Seville happened. Shaw's come in, and I mean this season's been a revelation just on his own ability and how much he's improved under Ten Hag, because very much like Wan-Bissaka and Dalot and a few other players actually have stepped up under Ten Hag, to show what they're capable of. So to see him improve as a left back and then become a centre back, it's quite a season for Luke Shaw.
It is, and I think last season I was probably most disappointed with him as one of the individuals, because he was a very experienced player and he looked a shadow of the season that he had prior to last season, where he was absolutely fantastic again. So maybe it was just a hiccup, but he's been one of the best, if not the best left back in the league, or full back should we say. Maybe Kieran Trippier, you could argue at Newcastle the way they're playing as well, but it's good to see him playing with confidence and playing, even when he's playing in a position that he's not familiar with. He's got someone next to him telling him exactly what he should be doing, and then if he's not doing it, he's got the pace to get back, as we saw it in the past 2 games. And yeah, he's come so far from what he was last season. Hopefully it stays the same, because I think he's 3rd in our chances created this year with Bruno and Eriksen, and that's with Eriksen being out for bloody ages as well. So Luke Shaw, very happy with how he's playing at the minute.
Yeah, last one I'll talk about is Jadon Sancho. What did you make about his performance today?
He played with confidence, and that's the best Sancho you're going to get, as daft as that saying. But taking people on, twisting and turning. I think the only conversation we can have about Sancho negatively in the past couple of games is his decision making needs to be half a second quicker. Because I remember there was one point where he was going down the left hand side, he received the ball, he could have played it in straight away with 2 ongoing runners, but then he chopped back inside. Okay, you've chopped back in, what are you going to do now? You're either going to edge it or cross it. Either way, he took it back outside again to try and take him on, and I'm all for him beating players, but in that scenario where you're on the edge of the box, not on the byline where you can build the pace up, you've got to make a decision quicker, and we could have got another goal in that scenario. So the fact he's playing with confidence is a positive, but his decision making just needs to be half a second quicker, and the numbers, his stats will just fly through the roof. If he's consistently playing, fly through the roof.
It looks like it's going to be a long road to get him to where he can be.
Yeah.
And I think decision making is definitely key to that, because it could have led to a couple more goals today. But yeah, brilliant, man. Manchester United 1, Aston Villa 0. We're 9 points clear of Spurs, who played Liverpool at 4:30. Won't be expecting any favours of the Scousers. Neither would I ask for one. But should they beat Tottenham, it's going to be, some roll back for Spurs to catch Manchester United. But that's been Jordan. I've been Scotty. We're going to get all the live match reports from everybody else from Stretford Paddock very, very soon. But I'll be seeing you very, very soon.